Hello, this is Yogeshwar 7000 again, and I'm back on my series on stories from the Puranas. In our last video, or last videos rather, we saw how Shiva got married to Parvati, how they had a son named Kartikeya who killed the demon, the powerful demon Tarkasur, how Tarkasur's sons also obtained boons from Lord Brahma, and they started to sin, as a result of which Lord Shiva had to come and destroy Tripurasur, which were the combined powers of the three sons of Tarkasur. And today we'll be talking about Lord Ganesha, the son of Shiva and Parvati, how Lord Ganesha came into existence, and what is the story which is coming directly from the Puranas. This is not fiction, this is coming directly from the Puranas. So this is how the story goes on Lord Ganesha. Parvati's place was guarded by two of Shiva's companions, Nandi and Bringi. However, Jaya and Vijaya, who are Parvati's companions, did not like this. They thought that since it's Parvati's place, it should be guarded by somebody close to Parvati instead of Shiva's companions. And moreover, Shiva was in the habit of walking in at odd hours, and Nandi and Bringi, who were actually Shiva's companions, never stopped Shiva because they would not. If it was somebody who was the companion of Parvati, they would put restrictions. So Jaya and Vijaya asked Parvati, please do something about it, and Parvati agreed. And Parvati took some clay from a pond and made the clay into a very handsome boy whom she called her as her own son. So she dressed the son in beautiful clothes, and he was named Ganesha, and she brought life into Ganesha. And Parvati told Ganesha, you are my son. Please stand at the gate and do not allow anybody to enter. And in the meanwhile, she went to take a bath. So Lord Ganesha picked up a rod and began his duty as a guard. And in the meanwhile, Shiva came up with his companions. But then Ganesha asked him, where are you going? You cannot pass. My mother is having her bath. To which Shiva said, well, I'm Shiva. And Ganesha said, I don't know any Shiva. Please, you cannot go in. And Shiva ignored Ganesha. Well, he said, I don't know. He probably is some person who's guarding. He does not know me. So he just tried to enter. But Ganesha started to beat Shiva with his rod. And then Shiva was shocked, and he asked his companions to remove him. But they got thrashed by Ganesha in the process. Nandi tried to hold on to one of Ganesha's legs, and Bringi tried to hold on to another of Ganesha's legs. But Ganesha uprooted a wooden door and beat them up so hard that they ran away. In the meanwhile, the gods and sages all came to see what's this all about. And Shiva then told Brahma, please, can you please try to pacify this whoever he is? And Brahma came forward and he tried to reason with Ganesha, but Ganesha, of course, did not know who Brahma was. He thought that Brahma was one of Shiva's companions, so he grabbed Brahma by his beard and he tore it off. And Brahma fled in pain. And at this point, Parvati felt that her pride is at stake, so she kept Ganesha supplied with all the weapons so that she could fight the gods. And meanwhile, the other gods attacked Ganesha with all kinds of divine weapons. But with the power of the divine weapons given by Parvati to Ganesha, he drove them all back. And in the meanwhile, Vishnu said Shiva that this person can only be killed with some trickery. He's invincible. Nobody can beat him. And Ganesha threw a mace at Vishnu and hurt him. And he struck down Shiva's bow as well with his mace. And then Vishnu and Ganesha began to fight, and Vishnu, as we know, that he has his discus, his Sudarshan chakra, and he kept using it against Ganesha, but Ganesha was holding a mace, and he was fighting with Vishnu with his mace. So this fight went on because both were carrying divine weapons. And meanwhile, Shiva came up from behind and cut off Ganesha's head with his Trishula, his trident. And this was the trickery that Vishnu had planned for. And when Parvati came to know of Ganesha's death, she was angry, and she was ready to destroy the universe, and everybody was so scared because everybody knew that Parvati was powerful. Sage Narada was then sent to Parvati to pacify her. Sage Narada, as we know, is the rishi of the gods called Deva Rishi. He tried to pacify Parvati, but Parvati said, okay, I can relent only if two conditions are met. The first condition is that Ganesha should be brought back to life, and the second condition was that Ganesha should be accepted as a god just like the other divine gods, and should enjoy all divine rights. So these conditions were accepted. Ganesha's headless body was cleaned and bathed, but the problem was that the head could not be found, and it had been lost in the heat of the battle. So Shiva said, okay, I'll take care of this. He sent his companions out in search of the head of the first living being that they saw. But the first living being which the companions of Shiva saw was an elephant with one tusk. So that elephant's head was stuck into Ganesha's body, and Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva used all their combined powers to bring back life to the dead body. And here it is. Ganesha was revived, and he was living again. In the meanwhile, Lord Shiva accepted Ganesha as his son because he was Parvati's son, and also he made Ganesha the lord of all his companions, who are called the Ganas, and that's why Ganesha is also called Ganapati. Ganapati means Lord of the Ganas. And it was also decreed that worship to any god would be preceded by prayers to Ganesha. Otherwise, the prayers will not be completed, and the prayers may stay unanswered. The prayers to any god have to be preceded by prayers to Lord Ganesha, or at least Lord Ganesha's name has to be taken. So you would see even in today's day and age, whenever there is a puja or a homa or any kind of prayer, worship to any god, it is mandatory to take the name of Lord Ganesha, worship him first before the other god can be worshipped. And that was because of the boon given by Lord Shiva, that this has to happen. Otherwise, the complete worship to the other god will not be completed, or there will be no fructification, or there will be no fruits from that worship. Now, the Hindu month of Kartika is extremely important as far as worship of Lord Ganesha is concerned. So the Hindu calendar goes like this, that there are 30 tithis, or 30 days, so as to say. The tithis are a name for the Hindu day, and the 15 days are the waxing period of the moon, and the 15 days following that is the waning phase of the moon. So in the month of Kartik, on the 4th day in the waning moon, so 4th day of the waning moon in the month of Kartik is called Ganesha Chaturthi, and Lord Ganesha is worshipped on that day. It comes approximately once in a year, so we have to remember that particular day in Krishna Paksha. And Krishna Paksha is when it is the phase of the waning moon. So in Krishna Paksha, which is the waning moon, the 4th day, it is called Ganesha Chaturthi in the month of Kartik. That's important. So hopefully you enjoyed this story from the Puranas. Once again, this is not fiction, this is coming directly from the Puranas. So please have faith and believe in it. In the meanwhile, I will recommend subscribe to my channel, check out my website, there is a link below, and I will see you on my series of stories from the Puranas very soon. Goodbye.